Okay. Um, yeah. Anyway, so what was uh yeah, so what I was saying is that um fuck, what was I saying? Oh, so speaking of way stations, I want to make them all unique. Some will be super simple, um, but some way stations will be, super unique, just depending on the environment that they're surrounded by. Does it still say? Hold on. Oh, it does. Kenshi modding and chatting. Done. Let me open up OBS. Kenshi modding and chatting. Kenshi one. Done. 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 Okay. Give me my mouse back. But anyway, so what I was saying is, I want to make all the way stations unique. I want to make all the ruins unique. I want to make all the stuff like that unique, so that everywhere a player goes, they have a sense of exploration. You might go into one room, you might go into one ruin, and it'll be empty, broken down. Um, and then you might go into another ruin, and it looks kind of the same, but it's actually a full building, and you go in, and all of a sudden you're getting your ass kicked by, giant robot or something like that. But anyways, ooh. Boron's flirting with me. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to see something cool, let me see. Boron's working on some new assets for the Shek. We were talking about this. Uh, Giant tarp, broken, dilapidated buildings, broken down, dilapidated buildings. Boron's fucking wild. You guys have no idea. Dilapidated buildings. Let me see. Uh, Animations. So they actually picked the book out of the bookshelf. Yeah, Boron's wild. Let me see. Show the desktop. Heal Discord because I know that'll be laggy. Let me see. Not F11, F12. Alright, let me see. Fog off. Okay, Cannibal Trophy. Cannibal Trophy. Are there any lights? Trophy. Trophy. No torches, surprisingly. Alright, Death Yard. So if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually just deleting the Death Yards, the static ones, and I'll probably put we probably talked about it yesterday if you guys were here. So basically, whenever you're inside Mongrel, you end up loading all these zones around it. So I'm going to move all, I'm going to delete all these static Death Yards and move them farther away from Mongrel. So I'll move some like here and along the zone edges, so you'll have your static Death Yards, and then in here they'll just randomly generate. I mean, as well as the rest of the zone, but they'll randomly generate near the city. That way, when you leave the area, a nest will spawn in the next area, stuff like that. Instead of just constantly loading in, you know, 500 extra NPCs. Making my way downtown. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So in case you're wondering, by the way, I'm going to randomize every static town so that they randomly spawn with loot and stuff like that too. Um, so going to the death yards will be worth it. They'll probably only spawn up to Katun grade stuff, but um, at least it'll be worth selling and looting and going in there. You'll also have generated mines and stuff like that. Oh, I wonder. That does kind of remind me. Hold on. While I'm here, I want to check. Okay, so the cannibals. Well, you can't see them because they're not spawned in properly yet. But the cannibals, thanks to Archeal, now have dozens of different variations of weapons. Some have feet, some have hands, some are pieces of skull and metal, and they're all covered in blood. Here's a skull. Here's a giant piece of wood with spikes sticking through it. Here's the cannibal expanded weapons. You can see the hook for the cannibal's expanded weapons. Um, you've got a slightly better version that's metal over here. Um, but yeah, so there's also, because so in the lore, the cannibals, they don't, they fight amongst themselves. So what I did was I duplicated the cannibal faction, and now every town, every nest, and every village will have a fake cannibal faction in it. So you're not going to gain reputation, you're not going to get like double rated, but what they will do is they'll spawn, and if they end up hitting each other, they'll fight. So it brings a little bit of extra realism into the game. Um, and so usually what it looks like is like you'll have the red guys in one faction, and then you'll have the green guys, the scrawny guys, and they carry the random weapons, and they usually end up accidentally, because they can't wield them very well, they usually end up accidentally swinging it into their quote unquote friends, and then it starts a huge war, and then what you see is cannibals eating other cannibals. Sometimes the scrawny cannibals win, sometimes the bigger cannibals win, and of course, some of them will have armor, others will have like random pieces, and then I'll also be working to add different skins and stuff like that. Um, if I can find a good uh, what would I say, a good pair of pants or a shirt, they'll randomize and maybe they'll have like a shirt on but no pants, like they do with the armor. But yeah, I thought you guys would like that. Um, gives a huge random variation. Gives a huge variation to all the weapons um, that they're using, that you're seeing. You're not constantly just fighting, high super bleed weapons. Arkeel did a pretty good job at balancing these weapons. So the cannibals use these. But yeah, I'm very very happy with that. They'll have some new additions to their towns and villages as well, but just thought I would show that to you guys. All right, Boran. I'll see you later. I want to show off this texture that Burns got now. I probably won't see him until. Let's see. Making my way downtown. Probably trying to load. There we go. Say probably trying to load way too much. So this is burn. Burn look cool as hell. So Banalish and Coco, if you guys are still here, all of the recruits, all of the vanilla recruits in Genesis, because I'm merging Radiant, and this goes for animals as well, because I'm merging Radiant faces and a bunch of the Radiant mods. Um, every single recruit, animal or otherwise, will be completely unique. There's going to be a bunch of unique bosses. So black gorillas and white gorillas, but you also have like the king white gorilla and the king black gorilla. Those will have unique textures and they'll be different. What is it, Kong or King, and stuff like that. Uh, anyways, uh, giant crabs will have unique textures. All of your recruits will have unique textures. Some of them will can't English right now. Will be unique races. So yeah, a new game is definitely going to be worth it for sure. Alrighty. let me see. Death Yard 10. What games have you guys been playing except for Kenshi? Uh, I was gonna say if Van's still here, I was gonna ask him what the hell King Arthur or whatever he was playing the other day was. I think Coco's recording right now though, so he probably left a while back. But yeah, if you guys are here, what have you guys been playing recently? Excluding Kenshi. I know you're playing Kenshi. You're here watching me play Kenshi or modding Kenshi. Ooh, almost missed these guys. Oh, you're studying. What I'm assuming Dream Daddy Simulator. Stop talking about me like that. I'm shy. I don't even know if you would get that reference. Um, yeah. What are you studying? Liquid. Are you in college or high school? Oh, C++. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you've been working on programming. All right. Let's see. Hey, I mean that's not always a bad thing, right? Elon Musk never finished fucking college, so now he's the richest man in the world. So I don't even think Mark Zuckerberg fucking finished high school. Yeah, I'm using both plugs. Yeah, I don't think I don't think that. So especially in the U.S., the U.S. school system sucks. There's a whole lot of pressure to get into a school system that has very little benefit to you in the long run. You don't learn anything about finances. You don't learn anything about the way the world works, taxes, stuff like that. So there's no long-term benefit, and unless you've got a job going, directly out of college, you end up saddled with debt because you made a stupid choice and decided to go and study something you're never going to be able to apply in real life. Um, like people going into, you know, like the study of history. 99% of the time, you're not going to be a historian, right? You're not going to be um, working at a museum that's going to, allow you to be around basically priceless artifacts just to tell what the story is. You know what I mean? Or stuff like gender studies, or if you're not a mathematician, why go and get a degree in math? There's this huge pressure to take on a lot of debt, especially in our society in the U.S., and it's incredibly toxic when you could get a physical job, work 30 hours a week, and still make 150,000 a year being an electrician. Um, and because trade schools are so rare and they're being bought out by colleges and stuff like that, the job market for trade schools is slowly just opening up because nobody's applying to be a plumber or an electrician or an HVAC tech, um, just like your AC stuff, um, anymore. Yeah, welding is a great example. You know what I mean? There's always going to be something that needs to be welded together. Doesn't matter if it's small. It doesn't matter if it's big. Commercial jobs will obviously pay more, but that you know the cool thing about trade schools is you go to school, you take on the debt, and then like 6 months into your trade school, you're already working on the job that you're pursuing as an apprentice, and you're already paying off your debt. But for the most part, college is this. I think for stuff like programming and stuff like that, going to a community college, and if you're really passionate, you know what I mean. Um, there's a couple places in the U.S. that have um, good like game design schools, kind of, but you don't learn anything there that you can't learn on the internet for free, right? So why pay 100,000 a year to learn game design when over the course of 200 some odd days in a year, when you can do it in 30 months by watching YouTube videos and following along on a PC, um, and you can immediately apply it, make a mod, make a mod, make a mod. You know what I mean? I think any country in the world who does not immediately fit you to use your skills that you're training for is sad. And in America, it's you know what I mean? Like we a lot of our financial systems are completely fucked, and they don't teach anything about saving money, or like what you were saying, investing. Um, there's so many different jobs you can have, and all you need to do is be like financially smart about it. Take your time. Don't rush into things, and a lot of people sadly do, and then they end up saddled with debt. Their credit score falls. It's wild. like I've said a couple times, I'm in that position where I am in, how the fuck do I even say this? I'm in an unfortunate situation in which that I am fortunate enough to do this. Um, I've told this story I think roughly twice now on stream, but the thing is like there's a lot of how would I put this? There's a lot of excess bullshit that I've gone through in my life, and so one of the things, um, especially given my age, I'm not that old. I'm 28. I'm 27, 28. I don't know how fucking old I am. Who cares? Um, I especially if I can help people, you know, 16 and older, where they're on that brink and they're like, what the fuck do I do? Um, First, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Don't stress out about it. 16 to 18 is those years where you should be spending, what do I like doing? You don't. Okay, so first and foremost, one of the greatest pieces of advice I would give anyone is you do not want to turn what you like into a full-time job. Period. Doesn't matter how much you love it. Everyone always says find what you love and do what you love. You don't want to do that. Do not want to make what you love a job, because then it completely destroys what you love. You have to, say you want to be a YouTuber, right? A lot of YouTubers fall into this uh, state where um, they're doing what they love. They're creating content that they like. They're creating content that their community likes, and then all of a sudden they get a good video, and they're like, "Fuck, I have to chase that." I just made $1,000 off that video. I think shit like that is stupid. Um, if you're really going to invest time, make sure you're into doing what you love as a job. Make sure that you realize you have to stick to what you're doing as a job because you love it, not because it pays well. So that means, hey, maybe for the next 2 years, you're making YouTube videos and, only 7,000 people watch them every time. And you're only making, $100 a video, and you only put out $4 or 4 videos a month. So you're only making $400, and maybe you have a secondary job. But guess what? You're now building a community that likes you for what you're doing, rather than a community that likes, instead of you building a community to get more views, you have a community that's slowly building around you, which is, I think, the best advice anybody could have. Don't throw away what you love, but don't pursue what you love as a job. You need to have a job you enjoy. Um, that mentally challenges you and that physically challenges you, but you don't want to go into a situation where you're like, I love building, uh, I love working on cars. That's my hobby. And then all of a sudden you're a mechanic all day long. Eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, okay, I really don't like working on my car anymore, but now it feels like a necessity because it's a project that I've started and I don't want to, you know what I mean? A lot of people run into that problem. Anyways, back to working on fucking Kenshi while I shut the fuck up for a second, stop rambling. But one of I think one of the more enjoyable jobs um, you can do are like trade jobs. I genuinely do. I think having trade jobs, because it's hard work. It's not just hard work either. It's also work that mentally challenge you. So like Otter there, he's doing, you know, uh, yeah, Otter is welding. So that's something like you have to learn the technique. You look at welding views online and you're like, you know, hey, that or welding videos online and you're like, hey, that looks kind of cool. Um, But if you go to school for it, you learn the technique and you learn the different types and you learn, metal to metal and what works well and what doesn't and stuff like that. But it's a job that keeps you occupied mentally and physically. Death Yard save. And I guess that's not to say that you can't you can't not love your job, but I think you want to generally keep your hobbies separate from your job. It allows you a lot more freedom in your life. Okay, so that should be everything. So we'll go here, we'll load up the zones. Okay, so if I go here, mongrel will be loaded in. So here. Okay. So we'll have to turn foliage back on. Let me see. Fog. It's got a, yeah, it's got a light fog. Okay, that's good. So, Death Yard. How big is this? How big is the radius on this? There we go. Okay, that's not bad. They can't get out of here. Can they? Let me see. Show nav mesh. Oh, they can. Um, I don't want them that close together. So, here-ish? No, because you want them deep in the fog, so here? Okay, so this looks like a good spot. Turn off nav mesh. Death Yard, nothing but flat foliage around, so players will be able to see it. They can get in. Let me see. I can't put it in the box because that's a good player base. I can't put it on the plateau because that's a good player base. I can probably put it along this basin. Yes, I can. So, Death Yard. By the way, if you guys are currently playing Kenshi and you haven't, this, oh my god, look at. So, by the way, these are the fucking Fogland bones you need for the bone armor. They're not spawned right, but this is what the rock looks like. It's like a giant bone, and then it has all these skeleton parts on it. See what I mean by it's bluish gray, though? So, Snug actually made the texture pretty well. It stands out different to everything else. But yeah, I guess if you're building here, you can technically mine 2 of these. They should be well within your base range. Okay, let's see. Maybe down here? Oh, but there's no fog. Okay. I could, but I don't want to. Maybe I can just place a small one here. So, Death Yard. Hmm. Maybe like here? That's not really good. We... Okay. So let's see. What do we... Oh, that's not right. Deadland Workshop. It's a Death Yard. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. So I guess I do need one more over here. I don't want to cut the player off though. Okay, well. Oh, damn it. Death Yard. Okay. Um, Alright, so I'll place one here. Town. I keep doing that. Town placement. Well, it's in the fog. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's too close. But here, maybe? Yeah, I guess that'll work. Alright, let's see what we've got loaded. Alright. Hurry up and load. Let's see, cat, you can go here. Okay, that's pretty good. So when you're in the city, let me see. If I go to the back of the city. When you're in the city, you don't load any of the surrounding death yards. They're just far enough out of range, in most cases, to not load the area. That's pretty neat. Alright, okay, so we're going to swap over to... Let's swap over to desktop. Save mod. Oh, shit, let me show the desktop. Actually, wait. Duh. Okay. Genesis. Yeah. You don't like what I do. So biomes. No, I actually need to go to spawn area. Right. Okay. Fog Islands. I guess while we're here, let's go to towns. Death Yard. Let's see. Poll. We'll do prisoner poll. So 50% chance of 1 because it's 50-50. So if I put 1, it'll be 2. 2 is 4. No, 2 is right. So let's put 6 poles. Boneyard. We'll put 50% 1 in each camp. That way, if you want to make the bone armor, they should spawn. Let me see. How big is a POI? Let's make it 0.8. 0.8. So it'd be a smaller death yard, prisoner pole, debris building, trophy. We'll put 2 of these, 1 of these. Doesn't have any nests. We can do loot as well. Okay, let's do Catan. Ancient. Oh, it's ancient because it's. We can also put Hive Trader. What is Hive? Yep, that's good. And we'll also add in the lanterns and maybe some hive limbs. So 1, 1, 1, 1. Actually, let's make this 5. So 5 to 10 items of the hive list. 1 to, let's do 0 to 1 of the lanterns, and then we'll do 0 to 2. So there's a possibility of 2 to spawn. Let's do 0 to 3. Okay. Okay. So now we want to add this guy back in. Arrival, nests, add, bog, death yard, and death yard invasion. Value 1 is the weighted chance, so it's 10 out of 100. 70 out of 100. 20 out of 100. So 90, 100, yep. Homeless spawns, scavengers. We can upgrade the Praetorians because people do want to hunt them. Okay, that's good. So, as a heads up, more Praetorians will. So you have to kill the Fog King in order to get Praetorians to spawn. Um. Okay, let's see how that goes. Um. Okay, and then I also need to do. I also need to do